Hello, we are Pioneer Games, and this is our paper prototype walkthrough for our game First Responder. We're just going to show you one occurrence of what might happen during the gameplay in this game. So I'm going to play the computer, and we're going to set up the level as it might be set up randomly by the computer. Start off every level with Daniel here. Daniel is watching TV in the living room. And as you can see, there's a couple of hazards already here. The TV is plugged in, and we also have this fire guard here. And this fire guard is not in front of the fire, and this is also a potential fire hazard. So what I'm going to do before the level starts, I'm going to set up one or two little fire hazards. So we have a plug here, and we're going to put this in the kitchen. And in the kitchen there is a microwave, and it is plugged in, and this is a fire hazard that Daniel is going to have a look at. And then we also have an ashtray with a semi-lit cigarette that is just about to be extinguished. And we're going to put that ashtray right here in the dining room. Ooh. And that's going to sit right there. And then I've also already set up a candle upstairs that's going to be burning there that he's also going to have to check. Now I'm going to pass you on to another member of my team that's going to do the walkthrough of the player character.
Alright, so my name is James and I'm going to be doing the player part of our level. So I'm going to be acting as the main character, Daniel, in our game. So Daniel is home alone for the first time ever, and it's his responsibility to do the fire check before he goes off to bed. So it's a Thursday night, approximately 11 PM, and he needs to make sure he goes to bed so he can make it in for school on Friday. So Daniel's watching TV when our game first starts, and he's going to turn off the TV and make sure that that's not a fire hazard. He's going to plug it out just in case. So he sees that the fire is still burning over here in the living room, and he's going to make sure that he puts the fire guard in front of the fire before he goes off to bed, so no sparks jump out of the fireplace. Daniel looks around the room to make sure everything is there's no hazards left, and he sees that there isn't, so he moves on to the next room. So he leaves the living room, goes out into the hallway and into the bathroom. So Daniel again looks around the bathroom, sees there any burning candles, anything that potentially could cause a fire, and sees that there isn't. So he moves on from the bathroom out into the hall and into the study this time. So he checks the study, sees what he can see. There's no appliances plugged in, no computers or anything. Sees that everything is hazard free. So while he's in the hall, he decides that he'll check that the smoke alarm is still working. So what he does is he goes into our little closet over here, and he grabs a broom, brings it back to the smoke alarm, and presses the button on the smoke alarm to make sure that he hears the sound that's still on. And it is. So he puts the broom back in the closet and moves on into our dining room over here. So in our dining room, he looks around the room and notices that the ashtray is full of ash. That's a potential fire hazard right there. So he grabs the ashtray and he brings it into the kitchen, and he washes it out in the sink. So that means he can get rid of the ashtray. It's no longer a hazard. So he looks around the kitchen, the final room downstairs, and sees that there's only one thing plugged in, the microwave. So he needs to make sure that's plugged out before he goes off to bed. And that's another hazard we can remove. So now he's checked all our rooms, so he can go upstairs and do the fire check upstairs. So he moves out from the dining room into the hall and upstairs into the upstairs of our house. So now our character comes upstairs and he's out on the landing. And the first thing he's going to do is he's going to go into the bathroom and check if there's any fire hazards. And he looks around and sees that there's a candle, and he has to make sure that doesn't go up in flames or left burning. So he extinguishes the candle, and we can remove that fire hazard. So everything's been taken care of in the bathroom, so he moves into the master bedroom over here, into his parents' bedroom. And he looks around the room and he looks in the closet, see if there's any clothes still hanging on the radiators or anything like that, or any phones left on charge by accident. And he sees there isn't, so he leaves the room and goes into the final room before he can go to bed. He opens the door and sees that his brother is actually asleep in his room. So he quietly checks around the room, sees that everything is plugged out and taken care of, and leaves the room and closes the door behind him. And off he goes into his own bedroom and completes the fire check by looking around the room, making sure everything's taken care of, and off to bed he goes, off to sleep.
Okay, so that was the player character walkthrough of our game. Now what we're going to do is we're going to show you Sam, Daniel's brother, and Sam is going to go around the house just before he's about to head out for a night out, and he's probably going to mess up some stuff that Daniel has already taken care of. So Sam is going to wake up here in his bedroom. He is going to get up out of bed. He's going to leave the room. He might go into the bathroom here and use the bathroom, and maybe he could light the candle. It's randomly selected whether or not he causes a fire hazard in a particular area. So he might or he might not light the candle, but in this instance he does not. And he leaves the room and starts to walk downstairs. So he goes down the stairs here, and then he goes down into the main room here. He's in the hallway, he walks into the living room and sees that there's the fire guard in front of the fire here. It's protecting any sparks from coming out of the fire. So he sees that the fire is still going, so he moves the fire guard out of the way and sort of stokes the fire to start putting it out. But then he gets a call as he's doing this, gets distracted, and his friends are asking him to hurry up and come out to see them. So he rushes out of the room and leaves the fire guard unattended and not protecting the fire. So he's out of the house now. So now our fire hazard that's in the house is this fire here. So this fire here, a spark hops out of the fire, hits the carpet in the living room floor, and causes the fire to start to spread. So we have our fire here, and the fire starts in this little area here. So we have our fire here, and the fire starts in this area here after the spark comes out, and it starts to spread. It might light the TV on fire, it lights the curtains on fire. It spreads and spreads and spreads until it leaves the room here, and then it hits the smoke alarm in this area here. The smoke alarm starts to go off, and this is what eventually wakes up Daniel in his room, and Daniel wakes up to the sound of the fire, and then my other team member is going to show you exactly what Daniel does in the house. So now we're going to see that. So if we cut from the downstairs.
So now we're back with Daniel, our player. And Daniel wakes up hearing the sound of the smoke alarm downstairs going on. So he thinks, what's going on? After doing my fire check, everything should be perfect. So he wakes up and leaves his room, runs out of the room, and first thing he does is he makes sure he checks on Daniel, or Sam, his brother. So he goes into Sam's room, sees that he's not there, and he remembers that Sam's actually left the house. He was supposed to go to a friend's. He remembers him telling him earlier that day. So he now leaves his brother's room, and he just makes sure that everything is okay, that there's no fire or smoke upstairs. He goes into the master bedroom, looks around, everything is okay. He leaves and goes down the hall and looks around the bathroom, sees that everything is okay, and then he realised that it has to be coming from downstairs. So he goes down the stairs and sees that there's smoke. He can see that there's smoke coming from around the corner. So he notices that there must be a fire somewhere downstairs. So he runs to the end of the hall and sees that the fire is coming from the living room. All the smoke is pouring out from under the door. So he runs into the dining room. He doesn't want to get too close. All this smoke is dangerous, so he doesn't want to get too close to it, and he makes sure to avoid it. So now what he has to do, the most important thing to do, is get out of the house before he himself gets hurt. So he looks around for a potential exit and notices that his best option is to leave through the dining room window. So he goes over to the window and he leaves. And outside the house over here, he makes sure he calls the fire brigade so that they can come and take care of the fire themselves.
Okay, so that was our paper prototype walkthrough. We hope you like our game, and that this game is going to be developed in Unreal Engine 4. And the main way you'll be getting a score from this game is going to be depending on how well you do your fire check, and also how fast you get out of this house. So this game is going to be for 5th and 6th year students, and it's going to show them how to do a fire check and also the importance of doing a fire check and what can go wrong. So again, we hope you like our game, and thank you for watching.